G'day guys, it's Graham McDonald here.
And Phil Britton, as always.
From Martial Arts Business Success. And man, this is the second part to our series about leadership, business survival, everything that's incorporated in running a solid business and surviving through this, the world that we travel.
And if you don't know why we're doing this, as we said in the previous podcast or vlog, we've been on a 7-day survival trip out here in the far northwest or northeast Kimberleys, to be precise, where we get dropped off on a very, very remote airstrip and we're left, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of kilometres without any human interaction, without any technology, without nothing, just a backpack, a fishing rod, a rifle for safety, and we have to make our way through some of the most toughest terrain that Australia, or if not even the world, has to offer. And as we traverse through the highs and lows and the swamps and do all that type of stuff, we take entrepreneurs and small business owners on a journey, not just internally, not just physically, but also into their business as well.
That's right. Look, just guys, a fun fact, as we've traversed through here, we had a chat. Bear Grylls came out to this country and he said it was bloody tough.
I'm flying over Western Australia in a region called the Kimberley. This place is wild. They say that if you get lost out here with no survival skills, there's a 75% chance you'll die.
To give you an idea, guys, we are in the middle of nowhere. So, look, coming to you guys on this podcast, and we really want to talk to you guys about a few stages. Last podcast, or episode 1 on this 4-part, was all about seasons and knowing where you are. This time, we're talking about the path on how and identifying where you want to go and how to get there. So, having a start point and having a destination is key points. But then you've got to navigate and understand how to get there. So what do we sort of learn as we have been trudging along through this wilderness?
Well, one statement comes to my mind: any fool can be uncomfortable, which basically means that out here you can really do it tough, or you can set yourself up for success. And one of the ways that we've learnt to traverse and navigate through this really tough country is to follow the path of least resistance, meaning, like you can go over that range, and if, by the way, if you're listening and not watching, you have a look behind us. We're still in the Kimberleys right now. This is a live video in the Kimberleys right now, so if you're listening, watch it. Basically, there's tough ways of getting through this land and there's easier ways. Not saying that it's, a breeze, but by no means. But as we've learned from our trek leader, that, the animals that live out here, they're not silly. They're not going to do it tough. So they find the easiest terrain to walk through to get from, pond to pond and area to area. And what we've learned to navigate through is really look at the vastness of the land and see along the landscape and where these animals travel. And if you can pick up an animal track, then it's going to be 10 times easier to go through that land.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, let's tie these back to your business. And really what you've got to think about is, if you know where you are and what season you're in, and you know where you want to go, but still don't know how to start, seek the help of others. And also start asking good questions, because starting with a good question delivers a good answer. And look, at the end of the day, what we're here to do by taking these entrepreneurs is getting them to think in a different manner. There's also a few things that we discovered along the way, and some of these guys that we have with us discovered. If you blindly just follow the person in front, sometimes you end up at a destination you don't want to be. And that is where we've had a few tumbles, a few spills, a few soggy feet, because they didn't bother to actually challenge the path. Or that means just they went, hey, they're doing it, so I'm going to do it. And therefore, the person in front made a wrong turn, and guess what happened to them? They were a consequence of that. They didn't own that situation themselves.
A great example of that is, when you're traversing through this land, you're in a line formation, and it's tough, it's hard, and your eyes are down. And that's what you're sort of saying, is following someone else's footsteps.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if you don't take that moment to step up and look around and, scan your surroundings, you might not find the easier way. For example, following Graham, and he's got his head down and I got my head down, and he's following the person in front of him, and then the next thing I look up, he's still trudging behind them. I look up and go, it would be way easier and more efficient if I went that way. So I went that way, probably goes, he goes, hey, where did you come from?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. You can't just, although there are paths to follow, don't always just follow it blindly.
Yeah, look, guys, with what's going on in the industry at the moment, there's a lot of Facebook marketing going on, and there's a lot of gurus out there that are sharing some really great things. There's a lot of marketing fads, and this is where if you blindly just go, well, everybody's doing it, so I'm going to do it, you may find yourself in a position or invest a lot of time, money, resources, and get no return from it, or find yourself even further off the track that you want to be and that destination. So it's really important, guys, through these experiences, you understand that you are in control of yourself, and you need to ask yourself questions continually. And as a business owner, when we talk about looking up, that may be every quarter, looking back at your stats, looking back at your figures, and actually going, you know what, am I still on track the way that I want to? Do I need to, I've gone off course a little bit. Do I need to redirect myself back online? So, it's really important to make sure that you guys, throughout this expedition, as we've discussed, know where you are, know where you want to be. But the most important part is going through that now and understanding, I guess, the path. But in that as well, too, one of the big factors was time. And I just sort of referenced that in regards to every 3 months, it could be a reassessment of where you're at, knowing where you want to be on that goal sort of scheme, I guess.
Absolutely. I think this parting statement is very, very appropriate for this right now. And it leads into episode 3, which will have actually the leader of our trek here, Terry Hewitt. Now, Terry Hewitt spent a little over 10 years in the regiment. That's the Special Air Service, the regiment. He has a wealth of knowledge in the military, but also a wealth of knowledge out here in the outback and all over the world. And let me tell you, his knowledge about the land and knowledge about leadership is second to none.
Yeah.
And something that he said to us that relates to this podcast is innovate, don't imitate.
Yeah.
Which basically means exactly what we're saying. Don't just follow the trend. Don't imitate everyone, because then you're just going to copy. You'll get less success. Follow it to a certain degree, have a look and innovate. And how do you innovate your business? Well, look outside the box, look outside the circle that you're in, and look at what other people are doing. Look at what other niches, other businesses, other people are doing, and see how you can bring that knowledge, that flavour, that flair into your business. And that, my friends, is how you innovate. That's how we've innovated in our businesses.
For sure. Guys, look, just again with that, if you find yourself going, well, where do I start or how do I do that? Look, hit us up, admin@teamo.com.au. We'd love to share on these journeys, because what we're doing is we are giving these skills, these thought processes, these powerful life tools to some phenomenal business owners here that run successful companies on all different scales, not just martial arts world. And look, it's all about putting yourself in that situation when you're continually developing. So guys, if this sounds like interesting, if you want to come and share on one of these adventures with us, hit us up. We'll give you the details, and we'd love to have you guys.
All right, guys, don't forget the things that we need you to do: review, comment, like, share, give us some feedback on this stuff. And like Graham said, this entrepreneurial expedition, if you want to be a part of it, we will definitely love to have you on board and be a part of the next Entrepreneurs Expedition as well. Before we leave, how about I just grab this camera? We're about to take off of this airstrip here and go back to civilization. So I'm going to get out of this mud right now and grab the camera and just pan. So if you're listening, just bear with us. You'll have to go back and watch. Let's have a bit of a look. Well, this is where we are standing. Not very nice. We've got the crew over there in the airport waiting for the plane to come in, and the bush strip coming out here. So, Graham, last bit of advice, bring a shaver.
Look, I think it's one of those things, you've got to put yourself sometimes in a situation where you have to be resourceful. And look, too many times we get comfortable with life and you end up just getting by, and that's not what it's about. It's about, being the best you can be, and sometimes you've got to go through a hell of a lot of pain to discover your inner abilities, and never stop learning, guys.